All right, folks, it is Inauguration Day. One term ends, another one begins. I believe it all starts at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, but I could be wrong. Does look like President Biden, on his way out, did issue preemptive pardons. This is something that, frankly, all of us should have known was coming. But yes, that did happen as expected. If you follow me on X or Twitter, it was one of those things I called weeks ago. And as expected, it happened Monday morning, right before his term was over. The new president, Donald Trump, coming in about 90 minutes. As I have shared the last couple of days, it will be noisy. It will be full of executive orders. The All In podcast says there will be 100. CNBC says there'll be 50. I don't know. Don't know what's happening, but it will be a lot. I guess what I want people in my community to understand is don't get distracted by anything that happens today. The news media, right, left, blue, red, purple, whatever you're watching, they're going to do everything they can to spin you up. And that doesn't do you or your family any good, right? If we haven't learned anything about the mainstream media, they want to create emotion. And the emotion that they want to create is fear, hate, and that just creates division. And frankly, division doesn't help you. It doesn't help your family. It doesn't help the community. It doesn't help all of that. So instead of watching what transpires today and being on the hook for any morsel that feeds whatever side you are on, I would ask you to do what I'm doing. I have created a list of things that I will be watching over the next 30 to 90 days because I think that will be beneficial. I have a list of things. What do I got? 6 or 7 things that I will be watching for over the next 30 to 90 days because it will impact my investing decisions. Nothing I'm doing today, nothing that President Trump does, nothing that President Biden does on his way out impacts what I'm doing. I have a buy box. I look at every day. I'm writing disrespectful offers. I write cash price. I write 50, 40, 10 price. And I write seller, 90% seller financing. It's all of those things. Nothing changes. But these are the things that I am looking for in the next 30 to 90 days. 1, is the Ukraine war over? It appears that Hamas and Israel have signed I'll call it a peace treaty. I'm not sure if it's a peace treaty or basically stop shooting each other. I don't know what you would call it, but sounds like that went into effect yesterday. That is good. No. That is great news. One of the 2 areas that was a tinderbox now appears, at least at first blush, to be cooling. In the next 30 to 90 days, I hope, for all of our sake, red, blue, left, right, whatever, that the second and frankly longer running war in the Ukraine and Russia war is over. I think that would be good for all of us. Number 2, oil prices. Oil prices falling to, say, $60 would again help all of us, regardless if you're red, blue, left, right, whatever. Cheaper oil is good. It falls to the bottom line. It impacts everything. And it is deflationary. So over the next 30 to 90 days, we are told that there will be a national emergency on energy signed today. We'll see. But I will be watching oil prices because cheaper oil is in everything. Again, cheaper oil, good. It doesn't matter if you're red or blue, liberal or conservative, cheaper oil, good. Next, something that I called out, I think a month ago, was the JOLTS report. Now, the JOLTS report, as I've said for years now, is typically not a report I look at all. To me, the JOLTS report is always one of those sentiment reading reports. And we have been told, I have talked about what appears to be a significant change in small business, a significant change in entrepreneurship. So I'm going to be looking for the JOLTS report to have follow through. Now, what is that? Last month, I called correctly that the JOLTS report would surprise to the upside. We will get 3 more JOLTS reports over the next 3 months. If we are having a national renaissance in entrepreneurship and investments, you and I should see the JOLTS report continue to surprise to the upside, because employees make this thing go. And if you are an entrepreneur or a business owner and you are looking to do this or that, you will open up job recs first. That is just something we do as executives. And when we are going after new markets or new initiatives or new this or new that, we open job recs and we open them quickly. So the JOLTS report is something I will be watching out intently for the next 3 months. Now for the 10-year note. The 10-year note had been threatening to, go to 5%. But there's a chance over the next 30 to 90 days that the 10-year note collapses and goes to 4%. There are plenty of arguments for either of those. So I will be watching the 10-year note, and I will be watching for, does it, continue to increase on a consistent drumbeat to 5%? Or now that the unknown is known, will the 10-year fall to 4%? Because again, you got to remember, one of the things that the bond market doesn't like is uncertainty. So now that, President Trump will be sworn in shortly, his executive orders will be out shortly. Will the bond market look at them as now unknown? And thus, the 10-year note legitimately could fall. I'm not calling for that. Frankly, I'm not calling for it to do anything. What I want to see over the next 30 to 90 days is what happens. Is the 10-year note materially lower or higher in 30 to 90 days? Next thing I will be looking for, not sure this happens in 90 days, but because of what is called the reconciliation process, basically one big bill. But what happens to the tax cuts that were expiring this year? Are they simply extended for another 5 years as is? Are there new tax cuts added? Basically, what you will see should this go to bear is what does the government want, right? Because when you look at the tax code, a lot of us look at it as a penalty system. However, as I have come to learn over the last 5 years, it is nothing more than actually a reward system, right? The government puts things in place that rewards certain behaviors. So I will be looking for, what are those behaviors? Is it manufacturing, for example? Is there incentives to build manufacturing? Is there incentives to build energy plants? No idea. Sounds like AI needs a lot of energy, but is there incentives to build these plants? So again, I will be looking for what happens with the tax cuts coming. Next up, as someone who lived in California for 50 years, I have read that President Trump on Friday will be visiting the scorched earth that is, unfortunately, Southern California, LA, all the areas that you and I have seen on TV. It will be interesting to see President Trump and Gavin Newsom, and I'm drawing a blank on the mayor's name. What is her name? Wow, I drew a blank on her name. Anyways, whatever her name is. Somebody knows her name. I forget her name. Anyway, doesn't matter. What is going to be the response? Are there going to be conditions? Is it going to be, how much, how big, how soon? I believe President Trump and Gavin Newsom meeting, reviewing the conditions, will be meaningful and important. Bass, that's her name, Susan or Bass. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Karen Bass. So again, what will the federal response? What will Trump, who I don't think it's a secret to anyone, is not a huge Gavin Newsom fan. So what will that look like on Friday? Next up, and this could happen today, no idea, but the end to the EV tax credit. Right, for the longest time, there has been a tax credit for buying EV vehicles. Again, that I expect that incentive to go away, which will then probably require GM, Ford, Tesla, I guess not Tesla probably, but will cause larger car manufacturers to reconsider their large investments in EV. So again, it will be interesting to see what happens when you remove that tax incentive. What happens. Next up, what will happen on deportations of criminals? I don't know what the right number is, but it is certainly tens of thousands, might be hundreds of thousands of known criminals that have come in illegally. I expect there to be some vigor in trying to identify and apprehend these criminals and removing them from our country. Not sure how that could be seen as a bad thing, but I expect that to occur over the next 30 to 90 days. Next, what happens with the job data? I have seen no less than 100 people post the following. Basically saying, as soon as Trump takes office, the jobs data is going to be revised and this and that, and it will suddenly flip and everybody will blame Trump. I have no idea if that is going to happen. I certainly hope that is not true. But you know what? Enough people believe that. Well, it's like, hey, let's just see, right? Maybe the jobs data continues as is, and this theory that lots of people are passionate about goes away. Or, like a lot of things, these thoughts will be proven correct. I don't care either way, but you know what? Sometimes you got to get the popcorn ready and see what actually happens. So it'll be interesting to see if the weekly unemployment claims suddenly spike, if the continuous claims spike, if the job creation data, which has been showing, 200, what was it last month? 260,000 job creation is suddenly reversed. It'll be interesting to watch all of that. So again, that is my list of the things I am personally watching for over the next 30 to 90 days. These are the things that will really show me what the priorities are of the country, of the new administration. It will help me make investing decisions, right? Understanding where the 10-year note is going, understand where gas is going, oil is going. These are things that will really impact my investing, my family's investing, and some of your investing. And then again, where are the tax incentives going should those be released? So again, don't be distracted by today. Don't let the news media wind you up like a top and watch you spin. I really do think the news media laughs at us. I really do. I really think, the mainstream media laughs at how easy it is to wind up an American, right? Just, whatever side you're on, put out a message that the other side's wrong and evil and all of that. And it goes both ways. Lots of people will be pointing fingers at President Biden's today, his pardons before any criminal complaints were rolled out, and say that, this, that, the other. There'll be plenty of people that point at Trump from the other side saying all these executive orders, this. Guys, stop. That doesn't help you or your family. It's freaking nonsense. Don't let the news media rile you up. Either way, get out of the echo chamber, figure out what is helpful for you and your family, and make interesting choices, right? Do the work. Other things that I noted today, Fed President Waller is out talking again. He said the following things: I may be more optimistic on inflation than the rest of my colleagues. More cuts could be coming in the first half of 2025. March is not ruled out. Again, I think this kind of communication or thought process is why the 10-year note came in on Friday. And again, if Fed President Waller is correct, back to my earlier comment, it could bring the 10-year closer to 4% than 5%. We did have an accountability group inside of school, talked about property taxes, insurance, software like Deal Machine, PropStream, and much, much more. If you are interested in real estate investing, we do have a school community with 360 plus folks all go in the same direction. It is a measly 67 cents a day. I do not know why you are not a part of that community already. Go to school.com. That's with a K, not a C, school.com, and join today. Since I'm here, let's congratulate Daniel. Daniel got his next deal, and his card will be going out in the mail today. Again, black cards are for your next deals. Gold cards are for your first deal. Don't know if you guys saw this, but AMC Entertainment is out there issuing more shares, looking to raise another $184 million. Their CEO basically saying cash is king. That's, they've been doing a lot of raising of cash. Are they just going to limp along and hope we return to the movies? Are they going to make acquisitions? I don't know, but their cash war chest is growing. 2025, now that the wrath of Lisa Khan is over, I suspect very quickly, we are going to see 2025 restart the mergers and acquisitions. Again, a lot of things that did not transpire the last 4 years because the SEC seemed to be anti-mergers and acquisitions. I believe that is now over, and we will see a significant jump in mergers and acquisitions. I don't know if you saw it, but it looked like Bitcoin hit 109,000 either late yesterday or this morning. That happened. I forgot to mention earlier when we were talking about school that we had one new member join yesterday. Shout out Logan. Logan, thank you for joining. Again, introduce yourself. Unlock all the thousands of dollars in free education at level 2 and level 3. And yep, that should be fun. Remember my call from yesterday about TikTok? When I was doing that live stream, I wanted to say TikTok would be live in 24 hours. It would only go dark for 24 hours. But I actually gave myself time. I said by Friday. I should have stuck to my guns because TikTok was dark for like 12 hours. And it is already back up. And as expected, Trump is expected to put a clock on it. It is expected that this reprieve will have a 90-day clock on it because President Trump wants at least 50% ownership by Americans to let it keep running. If that doesn't happen, I do expect in 90 days it will go dark for good. So that happened again as expected. Goldman Sachs says that the U.S. economy is in a sweet spot. However, we might be missing something. Goldman Sachs calling out how aggressive Trump tariffs could distort or disrupt the economy. I do find that interesting that it appears today there will be no executive orders on tariffs, but instead a vision of trade, a vision of fair trade. Again, folks, take a breath. Let's figure what's coming. You got to remember Trump's how he negotiates. It is so predictable. It is so predictable. And this is exactly what I would have expected. Again, we're not going to get a 20% or a 50% and 80% or 100% tariff on anyone today, I do not think. But it's all negotiations. And it's all for America first. So it will be interesting to watch that. A couple more things. Ally Ally Financial to end mortgage origination and issue job cuts. About roughly 5%, or about 500 folks or so will unfortunately be getting a notice from working at Ally. And then the last thing I noticed, again, this is good news, not bad news. Apparently, the Houthis, who have been taking shots at shipping lanes in the Red Sea, has declared that U.S. and U.K. ships can now safely transport through the Red Sea. Again, that is good news, not bad news. So it is fun to see. So, folks, at the end of the day, it is Inauguration Day. Again, as I opened, it will be noisy. It will be loud. The left will be screaming. The right will be screaming. All of it is complete nonsense. All of it is to get your attention. All of it is not helpful for your activities. Folks, as for the Vegas event, we are now 26 days away. 26 days away. We have 47 tickets left for VIP. Please go to Eventbrite. Please buy your tickets. I would love this to sell out this week, as it is consuming a lot of my time to put this together. So again, please go to Eventbrite, buy your tickets, get your questions ready, and we will talk to you tomorrow. If you're still watching, do a brother a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up. Leave some comments. Let's see if we can't get the YouTube algorithm to have more people watch the daily financial news. And as we close, we've got 127 people watching live. I'll be back tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. Pacific. We will do it live again. Later.